What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Swiftcoin today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. I do want to do something that I've been doing for a lot of altcoins recently, which is compare Swiftcoin to its Bitcoin pair and just see how we're doing there, okay? But before we do that, I am going to just do some standard analysis. Looking at the daily time frame here, we did move up. Yes, we're up about 8% today. It's always fun whenever it moves up, but you're going to go lower. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but you're likely going to go lower. I don't think that it's done going lower yet, okay? From a low to a high, oftentimes when you do find support in your golden ratio area, it looks like this, but you continue. You don't do this. When you do this stuff, you go down to your 786 or your 886. So inevitably, that's probably where you're going to go. 786 to the 886. From this current price to the 786, that's a 21% drop, 22% drop, something like that. To the 886, that would provide about a 36% drop, yeah? Why does that make sense? Because I think the average altcoin is going to drop about 20 to 30% as well. So something between 0.00889 to 0.0072 is where I would expect you to go. If I had to lean one way or another, I would think you don't actually stop at either of these lines, but somewhere in between. And likely even, I would say, somewhere around 0079 to 0087. Yeah, or 0088. Somewhere in that range there to refine it a little bit more. But if you do slip down to 0072, that's fine. That's fine. I don't think that you drop too much lower than that. What's great about Swiftcoin is not only do you have a buy opportunity on the price perspective, but you also would then likely take out your $100 million market cap and you would have an asset that is once again below $100 million. That's a phenomenal time to buy anything, you guys. Not that it's guaranteed, but to go from 100 million to 10 billion, that is a 100x. 10 billion is not promised. It's not guaranteed for every crypto. Not every crypto will see that. But if you are to do a 100x, it's the coins at these market caps that see that. It's the coins that have been around for multiple cycles that see that, right? That have promise, that have innovation implied to them. And Swiftcoin, guys, is awesome. It really is an awesome project. I think that it does deserve, I don't think it deserves a $1 billion or a $10 billion market cap. I think it deserves $100 billion. But who cares what I'm saying, right? $100 billion would be like 1,000x from here. That's probably not going to happen by the end of this cycle. I'm just saying this thing has potential. It really does. And one more time, I want to give a shout out to Underdog Research. This guy, genuinely, if you call yourself a Swiftie, you really should look up Underdog Research and just watch his Swiftcoin videos because I'm the chart monkey. I talk about numbers on charts and stuff like that. But this guy, he lives up to the name. He lives up. I wouldn't even say underdog, man. Maybe he's an underdog now, but he's going to be the overdog here in just a moment. Let's see. I can't spell. Underdog Research channel. Underdog Research. This guy. Yeah, this is the guy right here. Swiftcoin. Any and all of his Swiftcoin videos are great. He's very analytical. You can tell that he does a lot of work. He does a lot of work for his videos, you guys, and they're very well put together. At least I think. And he's entertaining. But again, the reason I'm talking about this is I got all caught up on the fact that this coin could be worth under $100 million. It is a token that, in my opinion, could in time see $100 billion or more. It is 1,000xable, maybe not in this cycle, but more. And the reason why I believe that is not because I see fibs, I see lines there, but because I see the potential from the fundamentals, from the white paper that I read, from the tokenomics, from everything that they've got, right? And then also from everything that this guy's thrown our way with his research, which is with his very studious research. I definitely see the potential in this thing. It doesn't mean that it has to go there. It could, it doesn't have to, but there's a lot of cool things. And again, take everything that you hear with a grain of salt from me, from other people, right? There's some things, some dots that he connects that might deserve to be connected. There's some things that are assumptions. Just understand that everything he says, and I feel like he makes it clear as to what he's assuming, what dots he's connecting versus what's actual facts, right? I feel like he does a good job, but some people, they hear things that are assumptions and then they run with it as if it's fact, and don't get that confused, right? I feel like if you pay attention, he's very clear in what he's saying. But anyways, and this actually looks like a very short video. That's a minute and 52. There's other ones. I'm going to stop showing your face, man. Going a little bit lower, going below a cent, awesome buying opportunity. Going below $100 million, awesome buying opportunity. Let's cut to the chase and talk about Swiftcoin versus Bitcoin. Okay, let's do it. SwiftC versus BTC. SWFTC USD, BTC USD. Index. Yeah, we'll do that, and then we'll do this guy on Coinbase. I want to use it on Coinbase. We'll do crypto. Yeah, we'll just do crypto. Screw it. All right. Okay. Of course, it's not going to be in log, though, because for whatever reason, it just does that. Even though it says it's in log, it's not. It's not in log at all. Oh, wait. No, it just automaticed it. So whatever. Maybe it'll be better if we do, as weird as it is, BTC USD versus Swiftcoin, actually. It might be better. Sometimes that's just how it happens. Yeah, right. Now that's different, log to not. Okay, so what this chart is telling us is if this chart's going up, Bitcoin is gaining dominance versus Swiftcoin. If it's going down, Swiftcoin's gaining dominance versus Bitcoin. What does that mean? It means that Swiftcoin's moving up slower than Bitcoin or moving down faster than Bitcoin. Or if it's going down, it's moving down slower than Bitcoin, or likely moving up faster. So think of it like this. If this is moving up, that's not good for Swiftcoin necessarily. Likely Swiftcoin's moving down. If it's moving down, that's likely because Swiftcoin's pumping and it's outperforming Bitcoin, okay? What we want to do here is assume where the next stopping point could be for Swiftcoin, because I don't know about you guys, but to me, what this looks like is, just imagine it's like an incomplete chart. Maybe you moved up all the way over here or something like this. This is like a wild distribution phase, and it looks like the floor finally gave out. It looks like the floor gave out. This is why I wanted to talk about this, because it's really, really bullish. You're finding resistance now at the prior areas of support. So this is great. This is really key in the discussion whenever it comes to Swiftcoin having more growth, further growth, and something that will absolutely outperform Bitcoin. Because again, if this chart goes down, that means it's going to outperform Bitcoin. I wonder if I invert it, if that'll be easier for us to understand, right? does it give me a negative percentage if I go like this? It does give me negative percentages though. Damn, that's okay. The inversion might be nice for some people, but we're going to use it on the upside down because it just makes my brain hurt less. We're finding resistance now at the support area, which is good. If we look at this from an overall relative high to a relative low here, we are at the 0.5, and it's very possible you could go to the 618. Okay, so let's see. Well, does that make sense? If we drop, well, you're probably not going to do that, because that would be nuts, man. That would imply then that Swiftcoin's going to drop like 60%. Because if it drops 50% versus Bitcoin, and Bitcoin drops like 14% from here, yeah, that would be crazy. So probably not. Okay, so Swiftcoin versus Bitcoin is basically at its relative highs. Interesting. But you might go up a little bit higher still. Let's see. Bitcoin versus Swiftcoin, I should say. Okay. Maybe because you have missed the 0.5. Technically, I didn't see that. I thought you touched it, but you have missed it. Maybe you go to it, which would mean that Swiftcoin loses about 9% versus Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin gains 9% on Swiftcoin. So maybe it drops, if Bitcoin drops 14%, Swiftcoin could drop, and actually, would that be true? Damn. No, I want to, I think that we're on the right train of thought, but if it drops, if Swiftcoin were to drop faster than Bitcoin, and Bitcoin drops 14%, that would imply an overall 20% drop or something for Swiftcoin, which from the current price would take you to about the 786, which is a fine area. You could go right to 0.0088, 0.0089. That's a fine area to find support. I wouldn't doubt it at all if you found support there. In fact, the BTC versus Swiftcoin chart is making me think that's even more possible. If you went a little bit through the 0.5, which you could, because you have closing resistances here on a weekly basis, some or prior support, which could become resistance. That would be more of a 20% drop versus Bitcoin, and that could imply something that's greater than a 30% move, which again would make sense with the 886. So we're not really getting anywhere with that, other than it agrees with the potential drop that we're going to see. Okay, so that, at least I'm not crazy, right? To some degree, that at least is good for my ego, right? But let's see. Likely after that, after you do find resistance at this prior area of support, which I think it looks like a giant Wyckoff distribution phase, and you're just back testing it as resistance, you're going to drop hard, bro. You're going to get rock hard to the floor and go all the way down to the basement. I don't know. If we look at this here from a low to a high, low to a high, where have you stopped? You've stopped. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. You have stopped at the 886. Maybe you do go right up to the 786, just a little bit higher, right? And what would that be with this? Is that 20% move? No, it's like a 12%. Yeah, I can see that. So right to the 786, that's fine. Oftentimes when you don't hit the 1618, you do interact with the 786. So That's fine. That makes a lot of sense to me. From there, when you go lower, the next target area wouldn't even be your 1618 because you got so close with it. Like technically, yes, but I don't think that you go there. Really, it'd be the next area, which is at about a 1886 to 200. Okay, which would imply that Swiftcoin, Bitcoin, I should say, loses 86% of its value versus Swiftcoin. Right, and that doesn't mean that Swiftcoin's necessarily going to gain 80. This is why I don't like this chart. I like this chart because it's better for the fibs, at least to me, but it doesn't help. It doesn't help with the. It would be better in a positive. Does it make sense? Anybody understand what I'm talking about with math? Because with the negatives, you can only drop as much as 100%. You can't drop more than 100%. So this 86% drop, let me just put it in another perspective. That's an 86% drop, but if you recovered that, that would be an overall 6x, 7x, right? And so it's harder for me to do the math. I'm sure there's a way to do it. I'm not thinking of the proper way to do it. We're gonna flip it over. Okay, we're gonna flip it over, and I don't assume that it's gonna help us too much, but let's try it out. Swiftcoin, USD, BTC, USD, Coinbase. You know what? Maybe we will just do Swiftcoin to BTC and not make the own chart because I want it to be somewhat accurate. I just don't like any of these exchanges. Is it going to be okay? That looks somewhat. Actually, that looks good. Okay, good. Poloniex is just. It make no mistake. Swiftcoin. You know, HTX and Poloniex. You know, they're both owned by Justin Sun, right? That are not owned. Technically, he's just one of the lead guys on HTX. He basically owns both the exchanges. So we're just going to say that. He does own Poloniex, though. Poloniex used to be owned by Goldman Sachs. If we take a low to a high, right, this is going to go higher, not lower, because now instead of finding resistance, you're finding support at your prior area, right? Accumulation phase, going up is good for Swiftcoin. So if you do go up, and I assume you do go up from a high here to a low there, sorry guys, that was such a headache. You see, it's basically the same thing, just reversed now. Now instead of hitting the golden ratio to the downside, you were just missing it to the upside. So same kind of idea. Drop to the 786 instead of rise to it. Whenever you do recover, the 1886, what would have been a 86% drop, this is what I was trying to figure out. That's a 5x there. Okay, that's about a 5x, almost a 6x actually. 6x would be your next target. 6x versus Bitcoin. Okay, now we're getting to the juice. Now we're getting to the good stuff. Okay, here we go. 6x versus Bitcoin. I'm not going to take the high to low here for the extensions because I don't think that's the low. I do think that we go lower. So we're going to go from the last cycle high to the bear market low. Very significant time frame. Okay, very significant fib right there. Yes. Okay. Stopping at the 1272, probably pulling back to around this all-time high area and then ripping back up. I would assume the next move for Bitcoin doesn't stop anywhere but the golden ratio. I might be the only person with the brass to talk about 170K Bitcoin by the end of this next move. A lot of people are like, oh, 120, maybe we'll get to 115, 130. I could see that, right? People are talking about that. They ain't got the brass, bro. We're going to 173K, whether you like it or not. It's happening by the end of May. It's happening. I shouldn't even give it time frames anymore because I've been wrong about the time frame for so many times. But the price is going to happen. It's going to happen soon. If Bitcoin does do this, and I think that it will, from the current price, let's just say, let's not even do 173K. Let's pull it back. Let's pull it somewhere between 130 to 173. Let's go right there at about 150K. Okay, right in the middle there. If Bitcoin moves up, I'm going to round up just to make the math easier, 80%. If Bitcoin moves up 80% and Swiftcoin versus Bitcoin moves up 500%, we're going to look at a Swiftcoin move on the US dollar pair that's basically about 580 to 600%, right? From the current price. 580 to 600%. Let's see if we can make sense out of that. Well, if we take a relative, and we don't have the low here, so that might not be appropriate. Let's take the last high to low. We'll do that. High to low here. There we go, right? Stopping at the 2272, going to your next fib would be the golden ratio, the 2618 right there. It's perfect. So your minimum target, and I probably could have done this without the Bitcoin pair, but this validates it, right? Because now we're seeing it across multiple charts making sense out of this same area in the price. I could have just looked at this price and not done anything else in this video and been like, look, high to low from this fib, we hit the 2272, we're all the way back down here. The next target would be the 2618, right? And when I say next target, that doesn't mean it has to stop there. That's just the next target. You could, by the end of this next move, go beyond your next target. You could see prices that are higher, and that would be something on about a 10x to a 13.5x. Can we make sense out of that? Well, if you did exceed this area and you went all the way up to your 2272, perhaps what you see is a 12x move versus Bitcoin. And if you were to see a 12x move, and I did go a little bit above the 2272 because oftentimes you do go just above that. If you were to see a 12x move versus Bitcoin, 12x plus 80%, right? 12, so that'd be like as a 12 and a half. Wait, I'm sorry. 12, yeah, 12.4 plus 80% would be like a 1,220% move. 1,220%, that's here at the top of this range. That's right there. It makes sense, right? We're making sense out of it through other means. Are you following? Does it make sense to you? If it doesn't make sense, try to replay it and understand how these concoctions are coming up, right? We're comparing Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin to grow. We're adding the percentage of growth to and it's not exactly this way, but more or less it kind of is this way. I'm cheating a little bit. But if we're comparing it to what I could see the maximum potential being of this next move, I don't see Swiftcoin versus Bitcoin going all the way up to its 2618. It could happen, but I don't think it does that. I think more likely you would find support at the most right above the 2272 or at the least right at the 1886. When we transfer what that gain, that growth in value to Bitcoin would be, calculating for the growth that Bitcoin 2 would receive at a minimum, by the way. These are minimum, let alone if it goes to 170K. These numbers might be too small. They agree very well with 7.87 cents, so 0.0787 to 0.1532, that range, okay? All that to say, Swiftcoin, whenever it is time to move up, and I think it'll be soon, probably by the end of this month, you'll start moving up, going into May, going into April, and then going into the end of May, you'll be moving up. Your minimum target from here, from this price at 1.13 cents, is nearly a 7x, and your maximum target from here is practically a 13.5x. You're going to have some phenomenal growth, you guys. Phenomenal growth. And if you don't stop there, it's going to be absolutely insane. You're going to see something at like a 27x. Hi, Fern. All right, and that's all I got for you guys. So with that, I'll probably end the video there. Hit the like button, subscribe. I hope it makes sense. I like doing these Bitcoin comparison videos. They make me think a little bit. All right, take it easy.